Welcome to another Motortown post-event racing commentary. Yeah, another race has happened last weekend and it was actually the V8 Rally Rumble. I actually have something similar planned. I came up with the idea to take these um, mid-tier sports cars or rear-wheel drive and turn them into rally cars, take them around a mixed surface track, and they turned out to be a lot of fun there for the last time that we did this. And this time around, I was actually planning on doing a rally event, so 3 point-to-point races, but those turned out to be quite demanding to set up. And with how things have turned out, Chess actually decided to just do a spin-off where we do just a few more lap races again. So my full-on rally event is going to come in the future once we get the racing event feature in Motortown, making things a lot easier with checkpoints, automatic time reading, automatic positions, and all of that. So that should be a lot of fun. But for the time being, since we don't have those tools yet, we are just using the just a few lap types which are a bit easier to deal with. Also, since Chess decided to host this thing, he also decided to just put in a few more cars into the roster. So we have the Spider over here, which is apparently supposed to be a Corvette, and it's just an asset pack vehicle, pretty old one, and also the former starter vehicle, the Stinger, right behind me. I don't tend to use this one in particular in my events because it's large. Anyways, let's get into the race. There are actually quite a few people in here. I think it's somewhere between 12 and 14 depending on the race. And yeah, widely mixed roster. I think there's like one model missing, but everything else is in here. And yeah, I'm back on the track with my trusty old Vista Rallycross. And this time around, for the first race at least, I decided on road tires. Because this track has a lot more on-road action going on than off-road, so yeah, I thought that would be a better idea. Also, the start is about to be announced. It was announced, so we should just be getting the start honks here. And yeah, a bit of a chaotic start because the guy in the first row didn't get going. That may actually be something to do with delay or just desync. The server may just not tell us that they have been starting, or they may have heard the starting signal a bit differently. I don't know. But yeah, right now it's going actually pretty well. We are in fourth place here, going down to fifth right now, but still it's going pretty well after a bit of chaos at the start. I also suggested that maybe we should be spreading out the field a bit more so that if somebody in front of us doesn't get things done, we can at least bypass them easier. This, however, what just happened was something I couldn't bypass. I'll assume it had something to do with desync, but let's go back for a moment. So somebody is a bit quicker than me and just comes from behind and completely, annihilates me. I mean, there really was much of a gap there. But I guess it likely looked way different on their screen, but yeah, I just got really messed with. At least the new respawn option allows us to just get back on track in the right direction. Before it was a bit of a coin toss depending on which direction you got off track, but this time around, yeah, we should make things a lot more consistent. But yeah, we are now quite a few places further down the line and we are about to reach the first off-road section. Note that there have been a few changes to the game in between the last Rallycross event and this one. Namely, first up, the tires got fixed. They used to be a bit more iffy, causing everything to be more snappy oversteer and just used to break out a bit quicker and just bounce a bit weirder. So everything is at least a tiny bit more easygoing now. But that's only the one thing that changed. The other one was, of course, the addition of functional downforce, or in this case also lift, because it turns out that apparently my front spoiler is giving me lift. It's really just a pipe frame and a skid plate, and I guess the skid plate is not actually going to give me any downforce, but doing quite the opposite. So yeah, my car as it is right now, while I still absolutely love the look, I may have to go for a respec when it comes to some of the body parts. I'm not really excited about that, but honestly, the car really didn't handle that well. Part of that is surely the road tires that I've been using this time around. And I mean, you can tell that the guy in front of me is slowly getting away. We are very evenly matched. And before that, in the last event, that was really more, yeah, it was more leaning into my direction there. We were on similar roads. Actually, this one, or at least the part we were on before, was also used in one of those tracks, so it used to work out pretty well. But right now, yeah, I'm having a bit of a hard time. Yeah, it's still going okay-ish. I was hoping to not have that much of a downside here, but in the past I actually used to have quite the advantage. Of course, there would be far less now because especially the BMWs, the old ones, like the one that I just overtook, they were horrendous on those slightly bumpy dirt sections. Way better now, but yeah, it's gonna be a bit to my disadvantage then. Also, I gotta be honest, I was trying to set up a new car for these kind of events so that I have a bit more choice in the matter. And yeah, I should have maybe spent more time just getting this one tuned right and not just go in blindly, think that the new or that a different set of tires would be a good idea and then just jump in like that. But yeah, I spent way more time trying to get something else going instead of refining this one, and it was definitely a mistake on my end. Also, this one here, I thought I could get the brake right, it didn't quite pan out, and don't know what happened to the other guy behind me there. And yeah, oversteer not really going well here. So things are not really working out. But I'm not the only one who is having slight problems here, so can actually overtake this guy right there. Few more people behind me as well, so I'm definitely not in last, but I'm not having the best time now. I think I came in 8 in the end. So this is kind of a ballpark in which we are right now. And this is the last major dirt section before the end of the track. We have to go through Jeju City as well, and then we are basically already back at the start. It's only going to be one lap for this track because it's quite a long one. And yeah, I'm really struggling over here. This area isn't even all that bad. It's also pretty fast and straightforward for the most part, so me just really not getting anywhere with the car right now is majorly concerning. But yeah, the other things that I tried, the other vehicles, they didn't pan out either, so it's not like I would just have one to swap into after the race. There isn't really a good suitable replacement. Although thinking back to it, looking at how this is going, there may have been a chance that a few other cars would have done it as well. But at this point I was more thinking in the line of replacing the wheels. Just getting back onto off-road tires. And I have somebody else in front. It feels like I have more of a goal to aim for, making things a bit easier or getting me more focused on the entire thing. But yeah, the Stinger actually seems to be, oh no, not the Stinger, the Spider seems to be fitting right in with the class here, so it's working out pretty well. Apparently it has problematic handling. Speaking of problems, I should have maybe not driven like that, maybe a bit more easy on the suspension and all of that. But yeah, it didn't cost me another position. And here we are back at the start. So that's the first track. Also another reason why I chose this car is because there just isn't anything else that's set up quite like this one here. I mean, I don't think any other car in this game right now has this kind of body kit that you can actually use to make things look so wild. But yeah, with the skid plate being something that I need to replace in order to actually get some front end downforce, I think the car is going to look quite different in the end. I will likely also need to get rid of my lower lamps over here. The light fixtures, they would otherwise end up being inside the front spoiler. So that's likely not going to be looking too nice, so I'll have to see what else I can do there. But yeah, this is likely going to be the last time we are going to see the front of this car in this state, so not too happy about it, but in the end I think it's just gonna be helping out the performance. As nice as I think this looks, in the end it's not really any good if I don't ever want to use it because it's not driving properly. So I just wanted to give you guys another look at this one real quick. And I decided to, this time around, set myself up so I can bypass everything else if they can't get going. And once you get to the start, you are going to see that this is actually going to help out quite a bit. Another one did the same guy, the same thing as I did, just in the last second. I don't know what happened there, but things got pretty jittery pretty quickly. But yeah, if things went a bit smoother, I could have really gotten some positions here. I mean, I'm still doing alright. Also back on off-road tires. And this is something to get used to again. I'll have a few corners where I'm just going way too far on the inside because I thought I would be sliding way more. But these things really make a difference. And at this point I think I'm in 4th position, so this is going pretty well. However, Gappa Gallop, which we like to use quite often for these events, I mean it's a fantastic track after all. It's going to also include quite a bit of, nice dodge there, quite a bit of regular roads, so that's not going to be my strong suit over here. Especially once again, since I now found out about the whole front downforce problem. I should have really checked that out beforehand. Also, every time I get back on the road here on that track, I'm having a slight PTSD moment, thinking of all the stuff that could go wrong and that did go wrong in the past. Yeah, I missed the turn in a little bit, so we are now 1 position down. I think we were in 3rd for a moment. But yeah, Psychic Evil, RTB and Steven driving way ahead of us. I'm not entirely sure if I can hold this position. With off-road tires, this car has always been a bit iffy. On the road at least. But yeah, the off-road bonus that it gets is not to be underestimated. So in some way it's just trying to hold on to a good position over here and then really getting back at everyone once we get back onto the dirt. The stretch limo on the apex there doesn't really help us, but everybody else had to go around as well, so it's not quite as bad. People are fighting for first position there, which might also help us, but yeah, gotta get there first. And yeah, braking was a bit iffy there. I was really struggling, I remember that much. It may have looked a bit controlled in the game or in the video, but I was really having a oh shit moment there. And yeah, this time around 2 laps. I think this is the only track that we are having multiple laps on. Bit of an issue with that truck being there. Also coming up, and this is something that I would like to analyze a bit closer. Psychic Evil having some issues and dropping out. This thing here. This is so dangerous. It's just a slight turn to the left, but it's such a blind crest to get over that in this case I decided to do something not necessarily risky, but yeah, I wanted to avoid any upcoming traffic by going way to the left. I could try to stay on the right, bypass the bus over here. The thing is, if I go too far to the outside, I will likely run into the post from the signs over here. So that's not really a good option. And I decided to just go on to the left very far in order to avoid anything that could be coming my way here. Let's see how that turned out. That's Psychic Evil and the police car, and I thankfully managed to just go in between the two. Also, this is one of those the car suddenly had way too much grip moments. Getting overtaken in the moment. I didn't want to cut the corner short or anything like that, so I turned in way too much, noticed my mistake, and then tried to get back onto track. And I mean, in the end, it's better for fairness sakes that I've been losing a bit of time for that instead of gaining time. Also, this time around, not that lucky bypassing that guy, but they let me pass, so yeah. That's another way to get back the position. I mean, that's just a nice fair play thing there. And this is where it all goes down. I don't know how I got this oversteer moment. Scatman just hitting me in the side, not really much that anybody could have done there. And let's replay this. So first up, for some reason, I'm absolutely spinning out here. Happened really fast. It looked like it would just be a tiny oversteer thing and quick correction going into a drift, but yeah, for some reason I completely lost it immediately. Then getting it into the side by Scatman over here. Bit of a weird bouncy thing due to lag, desync and all of that. Me flying around here and then slightly clipping into the ground or something, getting a lot of damage immediately, and even worse, landing on my roof. You notice I still have a wanted level, and due to being a suspect I cannot reset here. I don't have anything nearby in order to respawn, so at this point I just drop out of the race, watching a few people run past me, and yeah. That was pretty much it at the end. I could have gotten back into the race after wanted level was done with, but it just... that wasn't really worth it anymore. I would have maybe not ended up in last place directly, but with engine damage and all of that, I decided to not carry the car home at that point. Anyways, third race. doing the coastal road and then going back through Megium. And once again, I decided to set myself up to bypass everybody else, and a lot of people did the same. There was a bit of debate that, yeah, we're not going to overtake in the grass here. And fair enough. But it's still, at least in my opinion, better to go onto the grass instead of not going at all because the guy in front of you missed the start for some reason. And yeah, we are just waiting for the start here. And there's also always a bit of either people dropping in and dropping out of the event halfway through or something, and somebody just changing vehicles. And yeah, I decided to go into the grass. I thought that somebody in front of me was actually missing the start again by a bit, so let's see if yeah, I would have likely run into the BMW lookalike over here. So in the end, maybe not the best strategy to do this, but yeah, it was at least worth a try in my opinion. Somebody running straight into a tree. And I'm once again more towards the back than the front. Not really too much bad about it. In the end, I care more about having a good and fun race than winning it overall. Although winning it also has something for it. But yeah, I'm just trying to follow everybody else until we get on the dirt and I have a bit more of an advantage. But at this point I also know that something is definitely not right with my vehicle setup anymore. And they are trying to build up speed, but the car isn't really behaving. I'll have to see how it works out with potentially another front bumper and rear spoiler. I love a rear spoiler with a built-in brake light, but yeah, I think it's also a low downforce option, so might not be the best one here. I don't want to go with something huge or so, but I think there are other options in the same size range, in the same ballpark, that would actually work quite a bit better. So something I have to just see how it functions. I don't know if it's worth taking you guys along with me for the ride. I think it's better to just take my time and do it whenever I find the time for it. Right now I've already started the other playthrough anyways, and I don't want to constantly swap back and forth between characters. This of course being my regular playthrough guy, but for racing events, as I mentioned for the other playthrough, I would always be coming back to this one. Partially because the teleporting required for these events would be breaking my playthrough rules anyways. So they're kind of incompatible there. And I can't ask the rest of the lobby to just wait for me while I spend like 5 minutes driving to the next point where I don't think that would be that amazing for them. And Kupke going upside down, I also slightly hit them. Sorry, but with my grip levels right now, there's very little I can do. Also another slight bend coming up, which I didn't really set up for too well, and I also misjudged, so yeah, going way off into the dirt here. But we managed to survive the cliffside part of the track, so at least it's all a bit more forgiving now, and we are going to enter the dirt section shortly. This once again being a one lap race, which is something that at this point I wasn't aware of, and I was really wondering if I would have to go for a second one. Spoiler, the fuel usage in this car wouldn't allow for a second lap without refueling. These things are really thirsty. I would like to maybe at some point do an endurance race in these cars, but I would really be careful about the track. You need a gas station nearby, which is the case for this one, but also at least one repair center along the way. And there's nothing like that in Oldly. And yeah, once again, oversteering issues. And I think we are coming up to a really strange part. I'm slightly faster than Scatman here. I'm trying to get past, but yeah, it didn't really work out. And I don't know what happened to them, but they just slowed down that much. And I think they now are going off track. I also apparently hit something there. I thought it was a rock, but I couldn't really tell, so no idea what's going on with them right there. And yeah, I hit a little rock there, nothing too crazy, and that part actually... Is it this thing over here, or is it just an unfortunate bounce? Oh yeah, it must have been that rock. That seems to have like a slightly larger hitbox than what it really should have. That felt like a really harsh bump there, or I may have just hit it very unfortunately. So at this point, I didn't know what happened to the Scatman. I was considering to maybe slow down, but I had no idea if I was really involved with that. So I decided to just keep going. Also RTB apparently having some issues, and another thing going on in front of me. But yeah, most of the rocks on the trail have been cleared out, which is really amazing and allowing us to have races over here at all. But there are still a few around, so it can be quite spicy. Most of them are to the outside of the road, so it's not like we need to be careful if we are just staying somewhere in the middle. But yeah, cutting on the inside or anything, it's a bit risky. Also, I'm trying desperately to get past Becky over here, but that stinger is so damn wide, it's almost a rolling roadblock. Unless you have massive overspeed over them and can just go for a really wide maneuver or something. I had a few places where I was definitely faster, but I was also on the same racing line, and that just doesn't work out. And yeah, another moment of overspeed here, but so far on the outside, nothing really I can do, and I also can't really take all the speed through the bend. And coming to the end of the hairpins, I try to keep it on the inside, but it once again doesn't work, and they do something really clever that's going on the inside of a truck and getting way ahead of me there. So not really much I can do past this point, I think. We are about to come back up to the start of the race near the gas station. So it's pretty much the end of the race here. Few more corners, but nothing really too crazy. Still gotta be careful to not mess up and just throw it all the way at the very end here. Something happened in front of me. There's another guy who just went into the dirt there, but got themselves. So not too much I can do there to gain another position. Becky going real wide all of a sudden. Easy overtake at this point, thankfully. getting a bit worried about all the cars here, but yeah, I think I do a decent job at the bend, and that's the start finish. So yeah, the last race, despite also having a few issues here and there, definitely the best one for me of the bunch right now. But I definitely have to redo some parts of my car and try to make it work a bit better. Also, when it comes to the last track over here, I really wish we would move the start-finish line a bit further away from the gas station. Let me see, can I go back there? Nope, would have to go forward. Because it's kind of a bit awkward just going through the thing so close to the corner there. Then again, we always need some parking lot nearby, and yeah, the closest by would be inside the gas station, inside a garage there, which is a bit iffy. So usually we go to the nearby warehouse, and we don't want to go too much further away from that. So I get why it is over here. Still feels a bit weird, but that's just what it is sometimes. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this event from my end. And yeah, next episode likely just going back to the no teleport playthrough again. Again, if something comes up that I need this character for, I'll be going back to this one, but I don't want to jump back and forth between the two all the time, so I'll, at least for the foreseeable future, keep it mostly to the other guy and then come back here with this one whenever he's needed. But yeah, that's gonna be it from my end. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed and have a good one. See you guys next time. Till then, bye bye.